G'day, I'm Dale, and this is my NFT Artist Ask Me Anything. So, a lot of the guys from the community have asked questions, and I'm just going to try my best to answer as many as I can, as best as I can. So, here goes. Where did you draw your inspiration from? Well, so as an artist, I get it sort of from everywhere. I love looking at art. I love looking at gaming sort of concept art. I might go out like to the shops and just even seeing the advertisements, um, the on poker machines, um, on like even just out in nature. But that's more the visual inspiration. It can be as well through like music or just talking to people and learning what they love and what they want to see. And as well, it can be my own art too. I like to look at my own art and get inspired by the different concepts that I've looked at and want to try and do them better and again. So those are like, and the more specific examples could be artists like Albridge Dürer. Could even be like Picasso, some more modern concept artists. Um, Heroes of Might and Magic 3, that game, that I loved the art in that. Things like Skyrim as well and Fallout, all those sort of things. Um, what's my setup like for drawing? So I have my laptop, which I'm using at the moment, and I'll plug in a Wacom One tablet, um, which is just like a drawing tablet. I will then use Clip Studio Paint to draw with, um, and then as well, like the where I'm at is just in my bedroom. This is where I draw 99% of the drawings. um, and it's just a little comfy space, you know. It's like where I want to relax and stuff, and um, that's sort of the basic thing. Like I've got my charger points down there, got water, light, and I will be listening to music when I create most of the time. Um, Usually, I'll try and get it in line with the type of content that I'm making. So if I'm drawing pirates, I'll probably listen to the Pirates of the Caribbean soundtrack or something like that to get me in the mood. But other times it can be the type of music based on if I'm doing like a creative part of the drawing or just the mundane, like, oh, I've got to grind this part out. So the music might change to that. But it's meant to, in my head, like trying to heighten my energy so that I can focus a bit more or just mentally get through the experience. Um, and another question was, do I have a favorite time to draw? And so usually I line my drawing up lately with my lifestyle. So my girlfriend will go to work um, 5 days a week, and she works in the mornings. So like today, it's like 7 till 1:30 or something p.m. But sometimes it can be earlier, so like 5 a.m. And usually I like to draw like sort of I guess as soon as she leaves in a way so that I can have my time with her, but then I can then focus on my own sort of stuff. Um, and that also gives me a clear mind. Like if I'm sort of just waking up, I'll give a few minutes to wake up, but then early in the day the creative juices are flowing and I'm mentally aware. But also I might want to draw after I've eaten or a little bit after I've eaten because I can use like the carbs and the protein or whatever to help give me energy to get into that drawing and do higher quality pieces. But I used to draw back in the day at night, heaps like late at night, because you get into a different sort of headspace when there's nothing going around, like it's only darkness outside, and you can just lock in and listen to music. So I've drawn all the times of the day, but yeah, those are the main times. Another question: are you a full time artist or is this a side gig? This is all me. This is a full time. I don't work. Um, so I'm putting all my time into making NFTs, and making sure that, I am able to live off it, which luckily at the moment I am. Um, Another question: how many hours a day do you spend drawing? So as I said, where my girlfriend works 5 days a week, so I'd probably try and draw the 5 days out of that. And I'll try and get maybe 1 to 4 drawings each day. Four is the higher end lately, and so I try and go for 1 to 2 on average. It does depend on what my plan is, but usually as well, those drawings might be like 1 to 2 hours each, maybe like 1 hour being more like closer to the average. So I would probably draw like maybe three-ish, 3 to 4 hours, 5 days a week, something like that. But that's a pretty loose estimate. It can really adjust based on what type of art I'm making and just yeah how much energy I have. Um, and what utility does your NFTs have? So that my NFTs at the moment are purely art based, and I made a pretty conscious decision to do that because a lot of people have messaged me saying, "Oh, can you do this and that?" And um, I I feel like the collection will be more consistent and sustainable if I keep it relatively simple in terms of utility, because utility tends to mean that I'll need to bring in a developer because I'm not much of a coder. I do know the basics, but not enough to do anything of value. And if I bring in a developer, that can cause a lot of issues in that now I'm relying on this person to be as passionate about what I'm doing as me. And then if they for some reason go, then all my utility is gone. And as well, that's not my strength. Like I know it could be good to bring in another person, but I would rather do only my strengths and just hone in on those and put all my time and effort into that. And I've kind of accepted that that might limit my market, like my market base, but that people are still interested in what I'm doing, and I'm able then to now really just go all in into that sort of stuff. But I am open to ideas too. It's just I I'm not planning on doing any extra utility. So I do sort of see it as art collecting and art trading. But yeah, so that's the utility. How do you think you've evolved as an artist within the NFT ecosystem? So this has been huge. So I've started as a comic book artist beforehand, doing my own comics and doing gallery work and exhibitions locally. But the with the NFT like scene, I've met so many different people, other artists from overseas, and especially like businessmen and investors and marketers and stuff that's really helped me learn about the bigger picture of how to price things and how to promote, and as well like how to take care of the money that I'm making from my art, which has been a really important thing. Um, but as well, I think that I've just become more in tune with the community of art collecting, at least in the NFT scene, like the digital sort of world, because I've been able to have really quick feedback and get it out there. Like as soon as I draw it, I can see a reaction, which is different to what I would normally do before, which I'd be drawing it and then I'd have to go over to my mate's place and show them, and then they'd be like, "Yeah, that's mad" or whatever. So there's a lot of quick feedback, um, and also not having to have stock and mail things has made things a lot easier for me to be able to grow my business and then be able to test things out. It's also helped me learn a lot about technology in terms of my art, so animating and game design and video production. So I get to experiment with those and then be able to do that sort of sustainably by being able to sell those things for some sort of income, which has been mad. Helps it support itself. What do you think your future will be with NFT art? So I think that there's a lot of different options there um, with my future. So I'd be looking at, my main focus is like static art because that's my strength. But I'd love to explore more animation and even working with others, maybe doing like game design or building more generative collections. They're lots of fun. And as well, maybe looking into 3D design for metaverses and 3D sculptures like 3D prints. But um, I'm really just trying to focus on trying to make high quality content as best I can that suits the market. Um, but that's always changing. So I might need to just keep changing and moving it around and figuring it all out. And how do you think the said ecosystem has affected the art that you create? Yeah, so the with Algorand and XRP being, I guess, like relatively small compared to things like Ethereum, it's made me much like more, I guess, intimate or close with my collectors, and so I feel like that's really helped me get into their heads about what they find important. And I'm still always learning. It's a whole process, but the being in these like smaller ecosystems with a lot of developers, it's made me think a lot about the future of art and collecting, and as well with AI coming in there too. It sort of is pushing me to get stronger and try and stand above the robots, and but yeah, it's at the end of the day though, it's just all sort of testing things out and trying to get people to vibe with my work, and um, that's all I've been trying to work at is just figuring out how do I put lines on an image that people then feel something with, and then they can vibe with. Maybe they want to collect it and then share it with their friends, and that's the whole challenge. Um, and another question was, why did you choose Algo XRP instead of Ethereum? Well, originally the first thing was the gas fees on Ethereum were too ridiculous, and it was also pretty hard to break into the community. It felt like there was a lot of like distance with new artists. Like they were like, no, we've got our own artists. But Algo XRP, they were really embracing of new people, and obviously as well the transaction costs and speed all worked really well. So from a dude trying to make a business, knowing that if my customers have to pay a whole lot to get my art, that's a really big issue. So with Algo and XRP being basically free to move things around, I was like, well, yeah, my customers would love that. So that's why there was that, and then also the embracing of new artists and stuff coming in. What chains do you like best? So yeah, like really, I love Algo and XRP. I've tested them out a lot. Um, I did muck around a little bit with Voy, and so far that's good, but it's way too early to really make a good decision. Like the ecosystem's still building. Um, I yeah, like and I tested out Ethereum, but yeah, that didn't really go too far. Those are, I think, the only chains I'd say that I have seriously tested out. Um, Is there a future NFT you're excited about? Um, oh, I think that if it was mine, if it was talking about my NFTs, just the new collections that I'm coming out with. So I'm working on Fire Faces at the moment, and Rock Faces I'm really excited about because they're all going to be animated. They're all going to be in a little walk cycle similar to Chris Bros, which will be lots of fun to just sort of test out that animation style again. And in terms of other like NFTs, I think that I'm keen to see more gaming NFTs, but there's I think still some issues that need to be ironed out, just like the ease of play. Um, because yeah, there's a lot of little hurdles of like either having to go on Discord, and it feels a bit weird playing on Discord. Like it doesn't feel as much like a game. Um, but and then yeah, like having to download an app too. It's something that I'm waiting for, things to evolve just that little bit more. But I'm liking watching all the gaming NFTs, and that's something as well I'd love to be a part of in the future, like designing for that. Um, what will you do if the internet crashes? Is another question. Well, that would be a whole thing if they had no access to internet. Um, I've been learning gardening lately, and so I'd probably try and become more self-sufficient in that way, and maybe I don't know, work the muggle life in a job, a 9 to 5 job. I don't know, but yeah, like I'd probably yeah, I have no idea. That would be a hard time. Uh, One of the last questions. So, when did you first draw with both hands at the same time, or both feet at the same time? So, the hands came first. That was when I was building my comic Warlock, where I was drawing for a couple of hours every day for months, and my right arm was getting really sore. So I thought, oh, I should like strengthen up my left arm so it balances out my body a little bit. And the way I was thinking I'd do that is just draw with both hands, and then slowly, one will become stronger and one will become weaker. And I just did that for however long. It, it was maybe, I don't know, 2019 or something like that. But it could have been like 2018. And I just practiced that over time. And over a couple of years, I got pretty good at drawing with two hands. Um, the both feet at the same time, that was maybe like, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago, maybe two, where people saw me drawing with my two hands and they were like, oh, you should draw with other parts of your body, like your feet. And so I was like, yeah, all right. I was just like, yeah, no worries, let's try it out. Let's do it for a bit of fun. And so I did that. And yeah, that's led into people still talk about it. I don't know. It's been ages since I've done it. And last few questions. People saw the image of the camel that was in the original post, and they had a few questions. So they said, why does the camel look cute? And I think it's just because he's got a little cute smile. He looks happy. And and then people were asking about if the camel is on fire or if it has an inbuilt cooling system because there's the fire face sitting on him. And it opens up a good thing that to explain, like, I think this community or this like meme culture or whatever is that um the thing with art is that it can start conversations. And so, like, when I see the camel with the fire face on it, I know that it's going to start some weird conversations or thoughts in people's heads because it's not reality. It's a guy on fire or whatever. And I try and imagine then how it would really work. So sometimes I think, oh, maybe he's got like special clothes that don't light up, or maybe it's like a special camel that can absorb fire. But that's the beauty of art, is that people can get involved after the fact, where we can now build the story together. And so I think my general thinking with these fire faces is that their fire is like it's a different type of fire that doesn't burn everything. Like they can sort of control where their heat goes, or something like that. That's where I'm at. But I try not to overthink it. So that's it. That's the questions. Thanks so much for everybody that's been a part of this. I really appreciate everybody asking questions, and this was a fun video to make. It really summed up a lot of the things that I have been asked over the last few years. So I appreciate it. Thanks so much, everybody. All right, Uru. Bye.